Hey, and welcome back to Bill Rants About. Today I'm going to talk about my favorite, not the best, but my favorite DPS players to play or characters to play in Overwatch. If you're new to the channel, I like to talk about video games. I like to talk about movies. I like to talk about pretty much anything, just, pro wrestling, whatever. I like to talk about the nerdy things, as you can see in the background. Um, uh, I would love for you to join my channel. I have a little family now. I need some more people. Please hit subscribe. Please hit follow. And leave comments, please, because I like to conversate with the people that follow me and want to talk Overwatch because that is my favorite game. It's been out for 4 years. Just a little bit about me. I've probably played 2,000 hours of this game plus. Most of it's healer. Today I'm going to go over DPS, which is going to have to be. I'm going to have to. It's going to be a long video because I've done the healers, I've done the tanks. Now I'm going to do the DPS. DPS, there's a lot of DPS, so I'm going to try to go through these quickly. Um, just so you know that if in regards to what I play, I'm mostly a healer. I do play tank, and I sometimes play DPS. I am definitely an average to alright DPS player. I'm a good healer. I'm a pretty decent tank, but DPS is probably the position that I've played the least of the three. But granted, I have played many hours of this game, so I still have logged many hours of DPS. Um, so I'm gonna just get right down into it. I'm gonna go from my least favorite to my top. I'm gonna be a little, not as in depth as I was with the healers and tanks, just because there's so many, and I don't want the video to be an hour long. So first off, let's go with my least favorite DPS to play, and it's not even close. There's one that I just can't stand. I can't stand when I see it on my team. I can't stand to play it because I just feel like the character is just useless. And the only, like, if you're a bronze player, yeah, you could probably do all right playing this character. But the higher you get, it is just almost impossible to play this character and be effective. Um, but the character is Bastion. I can't stand Bastion. Now, for one thing, I feel like one of the reasons I don't like Bastion is that he is so, like, if you play Bastion, you have to have your entire team play around you, which I am not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of bunker comp, as you've seen in my other videos. Not my favorite thing in the. I don't like to play Orisa. I don't like to play Baptiste. I do not like to play bunker comp. So when I see a Bastion, I get annoyed. His ult, I'd rather be in turret form than ult half the time. Like, if I feel like as soon as I ult, I'm dead as Bastion, and that's one of the reasons I don't like him. I don't like the vulnerability of him. I think he needs to be more mobile in tank mode. I don't think he should just be stuck. Maybe if he moved around more, a little faster or something. I mean, he's got the self healing, which is fine, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Bastion. So I'm going to preface this again. This list is not who I think are good DPS. These are the ones that are my least favorite to play. So, like I said, the next hero is Genji, and I am terrible with Genji. Now, is Genji a good hero? Yes. If I have all the respect in the world for a good Genji. It is one of the hardest people to be good with. Um, he's very elusive. Like, as a healer, I absolutely hate dealing with Genjis, especially ones that know what they're doing. Um, I can't tell you how many times, playing Zenyatta, I just rage. I'm just raging because there's a Genji in the back lines and there's nothing I can do. I mean, it's just like if he picks on me, I'm dead because there's just not a lot unless I'm hitting headshots, and usually it's being deflected right back into my face. But as far as me playing Genji, no thank you. I am really terrible with the ult. I don't know why I'm so bad with the ult. Maybe it's just because I haven't logged a lot of hours with Genji. I'll be honest with you. I've probably logged my least amount of hours with any hero is probably Genji, maybe Tracer, because I'm not a fan of either character that much. But I'm better with Tracer. I'm better at managing blinks and stuff like that. But as far as Genji, I can't do it. My next character is Widow, and again, if you have good aim and you're a good Widow, can be a completely dominant DPS hero, but not in my hands. My hands, I'm very average. I'm not exactly a good scoped hero anyway. Um, I have my moments, but as far as Widow, no, not fun for me to play. Not definitely not. But if you're a good Widow, obviously, again, like I said, this is not who I think are the best healer or best DPS. It's the ones that I don't like to play. Um, so after that, let's go through my list. Tracer is next. Obviously, I just talked about that. I'm not a big fan of Tracer. You blink around and you can. I mean, obviously, Tracers can be very disruptive, and they're better right now than they've been in a while. So an annoying Tracer is an annoying Tracer, and it's just not fun for me to play Tracer. I personally just can't stand Tracer to play. I don't like having the really low HP. Sometimes I mismanage my blinks, and I just kind of it's all right to play. Um, Next is more because this is kind of in the Genji thing. Um, I am not a big fan of Echo right now, and mostly maybe because I haven't played him or played the character that much. But another reason is I do not use an Elite controller, and I have a hard time with the flying around with my regular Xbox controller with Echo. So I've rearranged some buttons and stuff like that. I'm not terribly in love with the alt. I don't think it's that great. I guess if you're good with her and you know how to use it, yes, you can. And some echoes are just amazing at hitting those sticky grenades on you. And the beam is probably one of the better things of her kit. Obviously, is you know realizing when people are low and just zap them out of existence. Um, I just personally not a big fan of Echo. I wish I was better with her, and I wish I had more fun with her, but it's not one of my favorites. And in that vein, Pharah, another character that I'm not a big fan of. This would be my next character. Pharah, I don't know, the flying around. I don't like her ult. I think it just makes her very vulnerable. It's like if you're gonna die, as soon as you use your ult, you're gonna die. Yeah, if you're getting mercy pocketed, I mean, I guess it could be fun. I just personally don't have a lot of fun playing Pharah. I don't know what they could do to make her more fun to play. I just personally don't have a lot of fun with Pharah. My next character is Soldier. Now, Soldier is just kind of boring for me. I've played many years of Call of Duty, so I played 10 plus years of Call of Duty. Before I was addicted to this game, I was addicted to Call of Duty, and I play a lot of Call of Duty. And Soldier's okay, and he's just kind of boring. There's nothing exciting about him. His ult is it's okay. I mean, if you use it correctly, it can be good. It's just not that fun for me to play because I've played so much Call of Duty, and frankly, the ult's boring. He's a good, consistent damage dealing DPS. But as far as like a game changer or something I look to play, he's a little boring for me. Um, my next character, Doomfist. I've played stretches of Doomfist and I've had fun with Doomfist because we're now getting into the characters that I do have fun with. I do think they're situational. A lot of these, um, Doomfist is, a really good Doomfist is probably one of the more annoying DPS in the game. Like if you have a really good Doomfist, he's very disruptive. But I'm not a very good Doomfist, but I do enjoy to play him. The alt is just okay. I wish that alt could be better somehow. I'm not a huge fan of the alt, but as far as just fun and go around smacking people against walls, that it can be fun. It can also be very frustrating if there's a Torb or a Bastion or something or a Sombra or somebody like that can really kind of hamper your style. If a Sombra's picking on you as Doomfist, I mean, you're done. I mean, that's one thing I don't like about Doomfist is that, you know, I understand that when Sombra takes away your abilities, a lot of people, but I feel like Doomfist is completely vulnerable to Sombra. So if Sombra picks on you, there's certain people that when Sombra picks on you, it stinks. like Roadhog. I hate it when I'm a Roadhog and I get picked on by Sombra, because you just take damage and you die and you can't heal. So yeah, Doomfist, fun to play, but situational. My next character is Mei, and pretty much Mei. Um, I don't necessarily think she's that great, but I do have fun with her. It is fun. I mean, everybody likes to troll a little, and if you can find somebody and just keep phrasing them over and over again, it's a lot of fun just to mess with people. And she can be annoying. If you're really good with your walls, obviously, it just takes her up a notch. Her ability to stall and her ability to just annoy. That's one of the strong parts of the game now for me. Like after 4 years, you're just looking for ways to maybe just annoy the other team, and Mei is very annoying. Now, is she effective nowadays? I don't know. I mean, I hear people all the time tell me that there's no counter to Mei, and that's just people in gold talking. Which obviously it's just ignorant to say that when you have half the roster that's a counter to Mei. Anybody who can shoot from a distance is a counter to Mei. Um, but as far as fun, a lot of fun to play. But as a effective DPS, like if I would not pick her first. Obviously, there's lots of different DPS that I would rather have. Now, if I was on defense and I just wanted to stall out somebody, may maybe be somebody that I would switch to. My next hero is Junkrat. I've got very mixed feelings about Junkrat. I love using the trap. I like um, his ability to go vertical. I think that the most effective Junkrats are the ones who use the verticality of hitting getting your bombs up in the air and get yourself up. And I think his ult is best used from above a team. There can be sometimes if you're facing a good Junkrat, um, it's just ridiculous sometimes, and I don't necessarily think he's at a good point in the game right now. Like I don't necessarily think he's too effective. It depends. I like to use him on defense, but I still like to play him. So he's kind of fun to play, and the alt's fun, and if you can do it, you have to do it in certain situations. A lot of DPS alts, a lot of people make mistakes. They use it like 1v6, which if you're going to do an alt, you don't do it 1v6. It doesn't make any sense to do that. They know it's coming. Wait till everybody's engaged. I think that's one of the biggest problems in this game is people using alts when it's just 1v6. They get desperate. Like you see a Zarya who's the last person on point, and they panic alt and they just waste their alt. I mean, why do that? And I think Junkrat's one of those people that you just waste your alt if you do it 1v6. You think you're going to get 6 kills with that alt? I mean, it's pointless, and too many people do that with their alts. All right, so the next hero that I would pick is Sim. I think also, like with Sim, I like to use the turrets to just annoy. Um, the alt can be good in certain situations. I obviously like to use Sim in 2 CPs. I like to annoy people with the beam. I like to get that ramped up with Rhines, especially when the shield tanks come at you, and you can ramp it up and you can just do endless damage because, especially if you're in gold or silver, I mean, you can just run a team almost by yourself if they have too many shield tanks. But using the telly, that's I don't know. I kind of like the old deli. That was fun, but I do like the 3 turret. I know how it used to be 6. I do like the 3. It's better to me. But another player that I like to play. Torb is next on my list. Torb is very underrated, if you ask me. I like Torb a lot. Um, I think his overload and stuff. I think he's situational, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of using him on payload maps, but you can. If you're good with turret placement, you just have to find annoying places to put it to where it's not easy for them to shoot. Now, sticking it on the payload is not exactly advisable. I don't think that's good, but if you're good at moving around, he's very good one-on-one. So like if you've got like Genjis and Tracers coming after you, you just overload and get away. And that's the best thing about Thor. You can stay alive more. So he's become more fun to me to play. than he used to be. He used to be, not so much. Now, when the game first came out, Thor was broken. He was completely broken. His turret was broken. Nobody could figure out how to get past it. And, they made a lot of adjustments with him, and he's a lot better now. And I enjoy playing him. You know, again, I think he's situational. There are certain DPS that I think you can use in every situation, but heroes like Torb, I'm not so sure. I wouldn't use them all the time. But as far as fun, he's a lot of fun to play. Now the next one is Sombra, and like I said, this is not a list of who I think are the best. I do think that if you are good with Sombra and you're good at disrupting the other team, then you can really do a lot of damage to a team. The problem is if you're not killing people with Sombra, if you're not using that ability to where you see somebody's low and then you go attack them, if you're just walking around and hacking people and leaving, I mean, it's really doing nothing for your team. But I enjoy Sombra, so it's a lot of fun to play for me. I like to pick on like tanks. I like to pick on Roadhogs. I like to hack Genjis and Tracers. Those are the heroes that I like to use Sombra against. And like I said, I think if you're really good at Sombra, then it can be a game changer. But if you're not good and you're just average, you're probably killing your team playing Sombra. You have to be very active. You have to go after people. You have to kill people. You cannot just hack people. You have to kill them. You have to kill their backlines. You have to attack their healers. If you're just sitting around playing Sombra and hacking somebody here and there and then just going away and have your relocator somewhere near the fight. Don't I see so many Sombras throw their relocator in spawn as they're coming out. I mean, that doesn't do anybody any good. So you go in, you hack a run, you do like 200 damage, and then you leave, and then you have to go like half a map to get back there. I mean, that's not the correct way to play Sombra. I'm not an expert on Sombra, but I know that you need to be kind of close to the action every time you use your relocator. And the alt is great if you can use the alt with other ones. Like I personally like using Sombra with Ashe because if there's shield tanks, I just, if I know Ashe is coming in, EMP the point, Ashe throws in Bob, and that can really work a lot. So we're now in my top three. My third favorite is McCree. Now, call me a sucker for westerns and stuff like that. I just love the character. I just love the character. The alt is fun. It's not necessarily effective. The higher you get up, the less it's effective. But if you play down in gold, I mean, you can have a field day with McCree. I really hate that they nerfed his gun speed. That really kind of sucked, and I don't know why. Like, he's one of those characters that I like the change that they had on him, and they reverted it back. I don't think he was overpowered. One of my biggest gripes with McCree is that you have two characters that are kind of similar. You have McCree and you have Ashe, and they're both like Western characters. They both have the single shotguns, but right now, I mean, Ashe is so much better than McCree that why would you ever use McCree if you could use Ashe? And that's one of the big things that I don't like right now with the game. You have two characters that are primarily the same, but you've made one way better, so why even bother? The damage output that you can do with Ashe is way more than what you can do with McCree. So that's completely frustrating because I love the character McCree, but I love to play him. I love the stun, the fan the hammer. It's all fun. It's a fun character to play. My only gripe is slowing down the fire really puts him vulnerable to people like D.Va, and you can't do as much damage. You're more vulnerable, and I just don't understand in comparison to Ashe why you would do that to that character. But that would be my third favorite. My second favorite is Hanzo. Now, Hanzo's a player that at least probably a year or two ago, if you had the toxicity about Hanzo's was so high. If you had a bad, you'd always hear about the bad Hanzos, but I've always thought that Hanzo was a pretty consistent damage hero. Definitely from mid-range. You don't want to be like one of those Hanzos that are spamming the limp arrows from clear across the map. I mean, you have to be mid-range. You want to be just far enough out that it's not easy to kill you, but you need to be able to, you know, full strength arrow people. You don't need to just um, be flicking arrows. It just doesn't do anything. But the best thing they ever did for Hanzo is giving him his little dash that he has. I mean, that's one of the greatest additions to a DPS that there was. It made Hanzo way better. And the Storm Arrow, I don't like it. It's okay. I find it easier just not to even use it sometimes. But I like I just love the character. I like the ability to run up walls. I like the dash. I like the damage he does. He does a lot of damage. Um, his ult, it's okay. Maybe one of the alts that I feel like if they have Hanzo in Overwatch 2, then maybe they can make his ult a little bit better. I don't know. I obviously it's good with Zarya still, but as far it's mostly just to clear people out nowadays. You're not going to get a lot of kills with that ult. But as far as just fun to play a character, I just like his ability to do damage. And I don't have the best aim in the world, but a lot of times with Hanzo, the hitbox is so big. It's like shooting, like we joke about it in the group of people that I play with. It's like shooting trees at people sometimes. It's a really fun character to play. And right now, personally, my favorite character to play is Ashe. Her damage output right now is ridiculous. They've even nerfed her a little. They've nerfed her fire. They've nerfed a lot of things about her. But as far as aiming down the sights, I like to use her more than anybody. I just feel her kit right now is a lot of fun. And even though Bob is hit and miss, depending on who you have on your team, I mean, you can, like I said earlier, you can coordinate with a Sombra, or you can coordinate with other alts like Zarya, or even you just throw your Bob in. Very good for stalling out points and stuff like that. If your team needs to prevent them from going that extra couple meters, you throw your Bob in, and it gives your team time to get in there. But her fire, her kickback, her coach gun thing, the whole kit for her right now. I think not only is she my favorite one to play right now, she is also, in my opinion, probably the best DPS to play right now. She does so much damage if you know how to use her. I have a friend who's really good at DPS, and he just cleans up with her. If you get high ground and nobody's challenging you, you can do so much damage with her. So that's my list. I would love to hear what you guys think, and what you think is maybe your top 5. Please leave it in the comment. I would love to hear what you think the state of DPS is. I personally think that right now, even though there are some people on here that need help, need some buffs, some maybe need some nerfs, I think that consistently this may be the best point in Overwatch right now with the adjustments that they've made, that everyone is kind of even. I mean, it's not overwhelmingly, best to. I do think that Bastion is by far the worst, and if they took Bastion out of the game today, I wouldn't miss him. But I think that right now the changes that they've made, the whole game in general, feels like there's not too many OP characters. Ashe is the closest probably of all the characters right now, but I like to congratulate Blizzard for finally making the game seem very balanced, because I know what they do. They want they want different characters to be good in different seasons. They want people to move around and change their characters more. And now Genji's more viable to play, and Zarya Ryan is back, and I do like what Blizzard does. I know a lot of people get pissed off at them because of the way they change it around, and sometimes a lot of times for some reason Genji and Hog, they'll do a good change for them and then roll it back immediately. I don't know why they do that. And then they give a change like they did with Soldier recently, which makes him ridiculous. But they can't keep Genji Hog things. They just don't want. We don't want Genji or Hog to be OP, but let's let other characters be OP. But anyway, again, please hit subscribe. Please give me a like. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. I will talk to everybody that I can. So I'm trying to grow this channel. If you want more Overwatch content, please subscribe and let me know. That'll do it for today.